What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Horizon Comix. My name is Joey M. Lang, and I am the creator of Horizon Comix. And today is day 7, the final day of Horizon Comix Reveal Week. Every day this week, you have been introduced to a brand new, dynamic, exciting superhero under the label of Horizon Comix. Up till today, you have met in order Shadow Puppet, National Man, Burn Up, Infinity, Amalgaman, and The Messenger. And now today, I introduce to you, last but not least, Heroix Jr. And as her name suggests, she is related to another Heroix. And now we are going to learn more about Heroix Jr. and the family she comes from. Heroix Jr.'s name is Anne Marie Clarkson. She's 25 years old, 5 feet 8 inches tall, and weighs 130 pounds. Her powers and abilities include super strength, flight, trouble sense, enhanced durability, speed, stamina, reflexes, senses, and cognition. Healing factor, empathic abilities, supersonic whistle, razor wind, and pinpoint accuracy. Being the only daughter of the Prime Minister of Canada, Ken Clarkson, and Delilah Peace Clarkson, aka Heroix and Intrepid, Anne Marie grew up in the public eye as the legacy of the Heroix family. Feeling pressured to live up to not only the Clarkson name, but also the Heroix name, she's struggled to make a name for herself since her teens, while fighting for justice alongside her parents. Possessing a host of incredible powers identical to both of her parents, and even a couple of her own, Anne Marie strives to carve her own path of heroism while still donning the name of her legacy as Heroix Jr. Although she remains reluctant to accept her father's offer to join his Canadian superhero initiative, Team Strong and Free, she knows deep down that when push comes to shove, she'll be there to help when it really counts. And with that, we move right along, as always, to character inspirations. A word I use a lot, and probably am going to be using a lot, especially with this character, is legacy. Legacy is a concept that is very big to me. I am a big fan of legacy stories. And those meaning stories in which involve the passing of a torch or a mantle. A good example in recent years with comics is Marvel's Next Generation initiative, where we're introduced to younger, newer characters taking on the mantles of other heroes. Not replacing them, but basically just, like I said, carrying on the mantles, such as X-23 Wolverine. There's Kate Bishop, Hawkeye. There's Miss Marvel from Captain Marvel, and the list goes on. And that's just in Marvel. In DC, that happens a lot too. We see it almost all the time with Batman. Every few years, there's somebody else taking on the mantle of Batman. I mean, there was Nightwing that one time, Dick Grayson taking on the Batman persona, but I digress. Main point being, I'm a big fan of legacy stories, and I wanted to tell one of my own with one of my own characters. Another thing in comics that I'm a fan of are comics with the family dynamic, such as the Fantastic Four, or even Disney Pixar's The Incredibles. Or if you know the Power Pack in Marvel, they're a lesser known sibling hero team. But the family dynamic is really interesting, and I think it can tell a very interesting dynamic where people will find it relative that they find themselves clinging to the expectations that they think their family has for them and try to balance that with trying to be their own people. So I thought it would be interesting to have this character with this insane host of incredible powers, but have her number one struggle be an internal conflict with herself. You'll notice with some of these characters, this one being a good example, particularly of her parents, are just the classic, stereotypical superhero, the very colorful and campy, just old-fashioned superhero style. So I really wanted to pay somewhat of a modern homage to retro, I guess you could say retro, or maybe even more Silver Age comic book heroes with this character and her mythos. Moving right along into possible stories, I'm going to sound like a broken record on this, but the possibilities are really endless. I mean, when you get right down to brass tacks at this stuff, anything's possible. The limit is the imagination. But if I have to pinpoint a couple things, I think I could really tell the legacy story dynamic with, especially as pertains to her mental struggle with identity. I could play it back to her maybe flashbacks of her younger years as a teen, fighting bad guys with her parents as the Heroix family. That's an idea. Or I could have maybe have it be like a conversation with her dad, the prime minister, have that be the narrative for whatever's going on in this story. Maybe it could be a call to action, like it says in the end of her bio, when push comes to shove, she will be there to help. So maybe it could be some kind of call to action story. But I definitely want to play more with the idea of her and her family. And now, before we wrap up this video, I just want to talk for a minute about the voting process, because that is the most important part of Horizon Comix Reveal Week. That is what this has all been leading towards. All 7 of these heroes have been introduced to you, and now you have your chance to let me know which one to write about next. It will, of course, be a majority vote, and you guys will have your voice in 4 separate ways. You'll be able to vote on each of our platforms. Starting tomorrow, January 3rd, 2022, I'll be making a brand new post on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, posting a collage of all these heroes. On Facebook, you can vote with a reaction post. I'll be having a reaction corresponding to each of the 7 heroes. On Instagram, comment under it which hero you are voting for. On Twitter, it's the same. Reply to the tweet which hero you want to vote for, that you want to see me write about next. And then right here on YouTube, all you have to do is go back to the video of the hero that you would like to vote for and say so in the comments. After all that, I'll count all the votes, because yes, if you do vote on every platform, that'll give each of you a total of 4 votes. And I'll count every single one of them. With all that said, let's move right along to the outro. And that brings Horizon Comix Reveal Week not really to an end period, but more like an end question mark, because I am absolutely not done. Horizon Comix Reveal Week has concluded with the 7 first heroes to be introduced into this universe, but that's exactly what I want to make this. I want to make this a whole damn universe. I want it to be a franchise. That's my goal, to make this as big as I possibly can. So with all that said, thank you all so much for coming along for the ride. Please stay tuned for more Horizon Comix content coming out in the near future, as I will be doing more stuff such as a review, like a self-review, self-critique of my first released comic, Horizon Comix Spectrum. So you guys can maybe pick up a copy of that and compare some notes to maybe you felt the same as I feel with it. But that's up to you guys, and we'll see. Again, like, subscribe, comment, hit the notification bell. Forgot to mention, hit the notification bell so you know when these things come up. But comment. Let me know how you felt about Reveal Week. How do you feel about Heroix Jr.? How do you feel about me introducing the junior of the Heroix family before the main Heroix family? Like the patriarch and matriarch of the Heroix family, rather. Let me know whatever you feel. I will get back to your comment ASAP. I really appreciate the feedback and the involvement. It means the world to me. So, with all that said, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, where, as I've said many times this week, I have been posting this character's bio in those posts to introduce them to social media, accompanied with this video here. So, all that said, stay tuned for what's next, and I'll see you guys just over the horizon.